To some, I know this cheese, which is from Appenzell, smells disgusting. But once you're used to the smell and taste of it, you start loving it. So I had it in the oven and I just love eating it with garlic. But this book here, I'm not used to it being disgusting. And when I opened it, it smelled like rotten paper. So in this book review, it's not going to be about Emily Bronte's, I'm not touching this book anymore, book. It's going to be about the 60 years common paper survives, since this is not pergament or any kind of animal skin. So if you want your art to survive, you better paint onto cloth, some textile material, because in the old days, paper was fabricated with old textiles that were given to produce books. So that is why old Bibles still are alive. In St. Gallen, Gallen, Saint, goes before that, there is a huge library and they have old books there, so they don't contain of trees. That's why they are still around. Otherwise, paper dies after 60 years. It's not white paper anymore as it used to be, and it just decays. Then, the other thing is that paper coming from trees is a real bad thing, because if you would take hemp, then that paper would use most of the hemp's fiber, and that one would produce real good paper. You just use about 5% of a tree going into your paper when you manufacture paper. That's just very sad. When a tree takes so long to grow, whereas hemp grows within a year, and there it is. It's the fastest growing plant around. And besides, you can manufacture medicine, cement-like structures. There has been a hemp car. You can manufacture quite a lot of things from hemp. So that's maybe why it's not done, because the pharma industry doesn't want that to happen, because this one would be a natural product they cannot patent, so they cannot make any money off it. And also with the paper coming from trees, it's really sad to do so, because as I said, it's like 5% of this whole structure of a tree that actually goes into the paper. It's not such a fiber-based plant. A tree consists mostly of space between that fiber. That's why a shield made out of wood is much more effective than made out of iron. There were tests on the internet and television, Mythbusters and stuff like that. Galileo I watched, and I was really astonished because I'm into bow shooting, arrows. So that's why I want to keep this book review as is. You learned much more in this very short book review than you learned in all the other book reviews of mine, because the basics I have told you. When you have a book in your hands, or you print out some PDF, what you got in your hands is a very devastating little bit that a tree kind of needs so long to grow. And when you would have an industry making books out of hemp fibers, it would last longer, your book, and it's just as good. You can do textiles, cement-like structures. I told you with hemp you can keep warm in a house with hemp, and it's a good exchange for humidity and dry air. It's much more solid than cement. It grows faster than anything else. It's a durable plant. It needs no fertilizers, bullshits, because it's just very not needy in any way. Hemp just grows everywhere. And besides, the omega-3 and 6 it offers is in the right balance so that your body can intake it very easily. It's just a miraculous plant. And now you have the answer why they kind of don't put focus on it in the media. It always goes like, yeah, when you talk about hemp, you probably are into marijuana and cannabis and smoking, you know. Even though now there is CBD oils and tinctures you can heal yourself with from a lot of stuff. So when you smoke CBD, it's an antagonist to the other THC. So it doesn't go together. They cancel each other out. And I had CBD oil. It tastes very bitter. And it makes you kind of drowsy as well, because I was emptying the bottle once, putting it on the oven so that I could take the last bit out of this bottle, and then I was just eating it. Whereas usually I just put it onto my skin. So it's a different kind of drowsiness. It gives you kind of, you know, like after a heavy meal or so. Not like you get high, it's kind of like soothing. So, yes. All the old books you have in your libraries and in the Vatican, they are made from textiles. Not trees. That's why they still exist. I mean, this one is a really kind of a fact. When I heard about that one, I was like, what? Old clothes we throw away or make carpets from. That's the material those expensive books are made from. Huh? Yes. Yeah.